If you're a 1980s gamer, your greatest memories will probably include a joystick in your hand. A vibrant market with literally hundreds of models, everyone seemed to have their favourite, but are you ready to find out which one is best? And first, a history lesson. As you probably already knew, the joystick originates from the birth of aviation. The first confirmed use of a mechanical joystick dating way back to 1908, and this, the Blériot experimental aircraft. At around the same time, Missouri-based aviation pioneer James Henry Joyce used a similar device to control his aircraft and branded it the Joystick. Yes, the name we still use today. Joysticks became electronic devices in 1926 and would be further developed by the Nazis in World War II to guide glide bombs and Fritz X missiles. Now, fascinatingly, it was the founding father of video games, Ralph Baer, who patented the first joystick for use outside of an aircraft way back in 1944. He developed prototypes during the mid-60s, but what a shame he abandoned them when he developed the world's first games console, the 1972 Magnavox Odyssey. Joystick glory instead went to American coin-op company Sega, who in 1969 gave the world Missile, introducing the first gaming joystick with a fire button on the end. Japanese rivals Taito then introduced the first 4-directional joystick 3 years later in their 1972 space game Astro Race. Now, if you've already guessed this, then well done to you. The first joystick for home use is the legendary 1977 Atari CX-10. And if you don't know what that is, you might be watching the wrong show.
Top 50 joysticks.
Now, before we dive in, I should give a shout out to all the joysticks which didn't make it into our top 50. These include a lot of the copycat joystick models, many of them quickshot inspired. Quite a lot of models from UK joystick producer Cheetah didn't make the cut either, like the Typhoon, the dreadful Annihilator, and the ZX Spectrum oddity, the Cheetah Rat. More importantly, there are a lot of joysticks I couldn't include because I've just never seen or used them. And don't be annoyed if you don't agree with my ranking. Everybody's experience growing up with joysticks is different, and honestly, my ranking is greatly influenced by the design and the comfort rather than just accuracy and functionality. Are we ready? Okay, what's number 50? Now, while all these joysticks use the traditional Atari 9-pin socket, this one is a bit different because it's made by Amstrad for the Sinclair Spectrum. It's that awful, cheap and nasty SJS2 they gave away with the Plus 2. At 49, the Quickshot 5, and what a crazy beast this is with that giant fire button on the base. But there's a reason for this. The Quickshot 3 was made just for the ColecoVision. The Quickshot 5 just uses the same casing with one giant fire button. I had one of these back in the day, the multi-directional Wicco Boss, and the top spins like a paddle. It is horrible to use. At 47 is the Sigma Ray by Logic 3, still making peripherals today. And it's not just about the style, this joystick features a flashing red LED on the top. There are 9 different joysticks in Quickshot's original range, and number 7 is the Joy Card. Push the disc in the desired direction. It's like a joystick without a stick. And here is the Quickshot 9, the ridiculous Joy Ball controller. Place your palm on the ball and tilt it in the direction required. At least the fire buttons have LED lights. 10 years ago we bought 100 of these and sold them for a £5 each. Now let's get to some of those crazy shapes. This is the Britannia Phaser 1. It features a pistol grip and a microswitch top joystick, and it's made by the same company that brought you this. No, not dishwasher, disc washer. This American joystick features a long shaft design, plenty of travel on the stick when you push it around. No built-in auto fire, so they released this little widget that fits between the 2 cables. If you are a joystick connoisseur, you'll be familiar with Competition Pro. This is the hard to find 3000 model. It's an unusual narrow design, and the fire button's in the shape of a cheesy what's-it. So if you think Mastertronic is only famous for budget games, think again. The Mastertronic Magnum features a pistol grip but an awkward thumb button rather than a regular trigger. At number 40 is our first tabletop joystick, the magnificent SureShot, also released as the Zipstick Satellite. The Quickshot Junior, a remodelled, rebranded, shrunken version of the original Quickshot 1. The majestic Stingray. Little brother to the Sigma Ray, this blue pistol grip joystick features 3 fire buttons, a trigger and 2 thumb buttons. And check out its baby brother, the palm gripped Manta Ray. Yes, I want one. The elusive Quickshot 4, not many people have used one of these. It's a bit like the original Quickshot 1, but it has detachable grips. Very strange device. And if you're wondering what it looks like without a grip on at all, very silly.
Atari in the house!
Yes, the truly bizarre Video Command. This very strange long joystick with a ridged grip and a very tiny fire button. But it's the way the joystick moves at the end that's weirdest. At 35, it's the Wiko Command Control, and like that strange Quickshot 4, it's a joystick with detachable shafts. If ever you wanted to design your own joystick, as long as it's red and weird, this is for you. Also in this range is this strange VIC-20 compatible rollerball. No, not Lovejoy, Quickjoy, the Quickjoy 120. If you are still undecided on pistol-shaped controllers, this is one of the best, a really comfortable trigger and thumb button. There's a mushroomy feel about it though. Still with Quickjoy and the ridiculously shaped Chimera. From this angle it makes no sense, but it's actually nice to use. A bit too much travel on the stick for my liking though. At number 32, something more simple, the palm-held SureShot. Just really nice, well-balanced functional design. At number 31, it's the Computech Turbo. Now we all know the Quickshot 2 has had a massive influence over the joystick scene, but this is a far more robust version. Lovely recessed auto fire. And the Master Shot is like a cross between a Quickshot 1 and a Quickshot 2. It's got a base button, but it does not have a trigger. It's quite sturdy. Look good next to your Amiga though, wouldn't it? When Quickshot rebranded as Quickjoy, the joysticks got weirder, like this Mega Board or this RC style infrared. But it was the slightly mad, completely transparent Star range which really got people excited. Who knows why the fire buttons are arranged like this? And check out its weird little brother, the Hyperstar. What's it called? To be fair, the Cheetah Ballistic isn't really a joystick, it's a joypad, but it's about as close as you'll get to playing your Atari classics with a PlayStation controller. And how about this, the SureShot Red Shaft? A stocky little joystick, very tactile, great ergonomics, very comfortable in the hand. Sadly never found one of these, the SureShot single button version. Atari's back, this time with the Space Age joystick. A single trigger reply to Coleco's Super Action controllers. It's the rubber moulding around the joystick base that I love the best. It's like an old-fashioned gear knob. There are 2 different versions of the Competition Pro Ace. The long stick version has a fire button on the end. This is a very compact, very precise joystick. Not much movement in the shaft. Return of the Mac, yeah, the Cheetah Mac 1. I just love the way that the shaft is angled forward, like it's ready to escape at any moment. This might be called the Datex Micro Stick, but it's actually pretty hefty. A very solid tabletop joystick, built to withstand some extreme abuse, except for that strangely tiny fire button. And here's a very famous rival to the Quickshot 2, the Cheetah 125 Plus. 4 fire buttons, auto fire and no micro switches. Most famous for introducing the Spectrum Plus 2 double plug. At number 21 is the Quickjoy Turbo. It's a remake, you can tell already, can't you? A remake of the Quickshot 2. a stylish red base, and an auto fire toggle right next to the thumb button. Does it have rubber suckers? Of course it does, and they even called it the QuickJoy 2 on the base.
Retro facts.
Now before we go into the top 20, let's spare a thought for all those poor consoles and computers that could only use manufacturer-made joysticks. Like the unlucky ColecoVision, stuck with this cross between a number pad and a thumb paddle. Remember the Tandy TRS-80? Well, its format-specific joysticks are actually pretty cute, but with no spring to the sticks, they stay where you leave them. Now you have to wonder what the designers had been drinking the night before when they came up with the Intellivision controllers. Slippery discs so rubbish they had to release clip-on joysticks for them. Japan now, and the MSX-specific joystick has far too much travel. And with Commodore intent on making the Plus4 the worst machine they've ever made, you had to play a game with these single-button monstrosities. To Europe now, and the video pack. If the amount of travel in that tiny shaft wasn't bad enough, the buttons tend to fall off. I quite like the long, unsprung joypads you'll find on the Dragon 32 and 64, but then they replaced them for some cheaper Grundig ones. And how about these for the Apple II? Looks a bit like an accident in a plastics factory. Now there is one format-specific joystick that seems to be universally loved. Yes, the Vectrex controller. Quite high travel on that analog stick, but so responsive. Now how about this obscure computer, the Colour Genie? Check these out. Wow, look at the knobs on those. They're like something out of the TARDIS. And we must give a little nod to the early PC joysticks. This one looks slightly sexual. Now let's get back to 1977. Atari gave us the joystick, the Bally Astrocade gave us this. One of the strangest controllers ever made, or Clint Eastwood's cigarette lighter.
Top 50 joysticks.
Welcome to the top 20, and do you think Cheetah are a bit up themselves with the name for this joystick? The Star Probe. I do love the shape though, the way the hooded shaft curves forward a bit like a cobra. Hang on, they should have called this joystick the Star Probe Cobra. At number 19, it is some joystick royalty, the legend that is the Quickshot 1. For a lot of us, it was our first ever joystick. You had this with your Commodore 64 or with your Spectrum. Two unreliable fire buttons. It creaks when you try to move it. But how cool is this white one they made for MSX? At 18, it is the Suncom TAC-5. I admit it doesn't look much. It may be drab and grey, but it's super light and responsive. So how small do you think this is? How small? This small. It's got to be the smallest joystick ever released. The Power System Power Stick, originally designed for use with the Amiga. You have to pinch the tip. How often do I have to keep telling you this? At number 16, it is the Konix Navigator, and I know a lot of you will think this should be higher up on the list. I'm sure we all agree it's one of the most beautifully sculpted joysticks ever made, but its pistol grip always feels a little awkward to me. The QuickJoy Top Star. Imagine everything you love about tabletop joysticks and then make it even beefier and chunkier and more beautiful. This feels like overkill. At number 14, and putting the fun back into joysticks, the PowerPlay Cruiser, compact and tactile, a nice tight joystick action. This version looks like it's been designed by Stevie Wonder, but you can also get it in patriotic red, white and blue, or even black if you must. When basic isn't quite basic enough, you need the Suncom Slick Stick. What a gorgeous, simple, palm-held joystick, super responsive, simply a joy to use. Is it an alien? No, it is the Cheetah Bug. Yeah, it's more exciting in that green and red, but this is the black version, a fully micro-switched palm-held, and for me, the best joystick Cheetah ever made. Just outside the top 10 is this, the Delta 2000. Super narrow with that solid steel shaft. I think really it's the coffin-shaped top and that domed fire button that makes this extra special for me.
What's number 10?
Welcome to the top 10, and here we are with a Commodore joystick. It was actually built by Atari for the VIC-20 and features a solid rubber shaft.
What's number 9?
The Volt Mace Delta, a re-released version of the early 1980s handheld joystick aimed at Commodore Amiga users. It's pretty much identical to the BBC Micro original.
What's number 8?
At number 8, it is Datasoft's Le Stick. What is that thing? Well, it's the world's first motion-sensitive controller, released decades before the Nintendo Wii, and from the company that brought us Bruce Lee.
What's number 7?
At number 7 is the QuickJoy 3 Supercharger, the best of all the QuickShot 2 remakes. It is fully micro-switched with that fantastic sculpted bass.
What's number 6?
It is the Slick Stick's big brother, the Suncom TAC 2, dual fire buttons and that real metal fascia. A joystick modders take to their hearts. And if you're wondering how good a TAC 1 must be, it's this boring PC joystick.
What's number 5?
It's a perennial UK favourite, the Zipstick, generally known as the Zipstick, but this model is actually called the Super Pro. It's very similar to another well-known joystick, fully micro-switched with these odd square yellow buttons. There are purple versions too, and the same as the SureShot standard, the Zipstick Blaster.
What's number 4?
You know what this is. I don't need to tell you. You can make it out of beads or of Lego. Iconic isn't a big enough word, that's a birthday cake. Or how about this stress ball, a tin of sweets, a frankly ridiculous lamp, a jewellery box, or how about a whiskey decanter and glasses? Very nice. It is of course the world's first home joystick, unreliable, stiff action, a single fire button, but for most of us a vital part of our journey into video games. And how about this version made for Commodore? Doesn't it look stunning in those colours? This joystick is legendary.
What's number 3?
The Konix Speed King. It is probably the world's most famous palm-held joystick, ergonomically designed to fit beautifully in your hand. Fully micro-switched, there are single and double fire button versions. I'm yet to find them, but there's also white and analogue versions. Wow.
What's number 2?
You've probably already guessed, it's the QuickShot 2. It's sold in the millions. That iconic shaped shaft, those legendary trigger and thumb buttons. It's the joystick that made auto fire compulsory. Pretty unreliable and creaky too. So they gave us the micro-switch QuickShot 2 Plus, then the funky red QuickShot 2 Turbo. There were also versions for other formats like this all-white MSX version, or how about this classic grey and white for the Nintendo NES. Before we go to our number 1, let's check out some other rare QuickShot joysticks, like the bizarre QuickShot 10 for PC, the Super Warrior also for PC, the hard-to-find Conqueror for Mega Drive, SNES and PlayStation. And what about this arcade flight stick, the Intruder 3 for the Mega Drive? There's nothing else quite like it for the format. Check this. Boom!
Here it comes, it's number 1.
The Competition Pro! The defining joystick of its era. Smooth lines and those arcade coin-op fire buttons. It is a legend. A lovely tight joystick action. I actually prefer the non-micro-switch versions. Available in so many colours, and they still make it. This is a modern version. There are forums for dedicated collectors, over 50 different colours to collect. Format-specific versions, special editions. For most of us growing up in Europe, this was the joystick of our dreams. So it just remains for me to say huge thanks for watching, and if you want more content like this, please do like and subscribe, and check out my other videos like these.